Okay, so it is the 9:30 in the morning on the 29th of September, just leaving Crescent City. I just stayed at the marina, dead flat calm, and it's an all-weather port, which is really important. There's no bar here. Watch for crab pots and that sort of thing. Starting on a 2-day run. It's 80 miles to Cape Mendocino and then on to Bodega Bay. Bodega Bay is about 240 or 250 nautical miles, so that's a good full 2 days, probably more like 2.5 days. And that's just north of San Fran, so that'll be great. I'm looking forward to getting into there. Anyways, that's the update, and this is what it looks like here right now. So making the rounding around Cape Mendocino. Mendocino is about 7 nautical miles off to the port. We're heading south. It's a perfect night for it. It's about 10 knots of wind, and seas are only about 2 feet. So nice and easy crossing, man. And it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. The passage from Crescent City to Bodega Bay was a nice smooth one. We averaged 5.2 knots covering the 241 nautical miles in just under 47 hours. Duke was pretty excited to get in, to say the least. We've spent almost 2 days on the boat. This is going to be a quick turnaround for us though, as we have a huge low pressure system chasing us down the coast, so our weather window's closing. We need to make Drake's Bay and Sausalito before it arrives. Fuel, water, and beer loaded. It was one night stand for that dirty fisherman's dock and on to Drake's Bay. So Drake's Bay is about 25 miles south of Bodega Bay. We covered this in about 5 hours under perfect conditions. We arrived with our friends from SV Desire, Tom and Britta, who we've been sailing with since Nia Bay. As a known landing spot for Sir Francis Drake centuries before in the much larger Golden Hind, it was a natural stop for me and my little girl. For all you offshore sailors, this is one of the locations the weather faxes are blasted across the Pacific with the sidebands. After a one-night pit stop, anchor stowed, it's time to finish this leg. Hey, we ready to go? Just about in San Francisco. That'll be leg 2 complete. Okay, so I'm sailing in for Bonita Channel, coming into San Francisco. Missing the potato patch. I'm about 10 nautical miles out from going under the bridge. So I'm running under a double reef main and a partially canoa. It's supposed to be blowing in underneath the bridge like it usually is, so I don't want to have full main up. Maybe being a little over conservative, but I'd rather be over conservative than be fighting with sails coming under the San Francisco Bridge. So, yep, I'm making good time anyways. So Sausalito turns out to be a really bumpy anchorage. As soon as that wind picks up, those waves come up as well. Plus, there's tour boats and ferry boats that are going back and forth all day, so that adds to it. But all that said, it's a beautiful spot to stop. Provisions are a little harder to get to, but a quick bus ride gets you there. And while you're here, why not enjoy some of that legalized produce that California has to offer? So I'm in the beautiful harbor of Sausalito. You just make out the Golden Gate over there. This is what the cruising life is all about. Okay, so I got a problem with my turbine. Not a big problem. The first season that they came out with this 5-bladed turbine, they just put a 5-bladed hub and an extra 2 blades on a standard 3-bladed turbine. So what's happening is when the wind builds up, it starts to spin the turbine up. The centrifugal force and the extra weight, I believe, is what's turning the turbine away from the wind, which is what it's supposed to do at really high wind, but with the extra 2 blades, it makes it turn out of the wind too fast. So my battery is getting low, and we've got a big wind storm coming up. Let's see which way the wind is blowing. It should be blowing straight there. It'll catch the wind. Spin up. And then spin out. So, that's not what you want. You need it to be able to spin out in case it overloads. So I was just walking Duke around Sausalito, and this is what I found. There's a building getting renovated, and there's a big dumpster out front.
Sometimes people throw out good stuff, most times they don't. He's not taking it, he's just taking it from there and bringing it down to the curb.
Foam cord plastic. Pretty rigid. And there's just tons of this stuff sitting in the dumpster, so I grabbed a chunk of it. But that's going to be perfect. It's white, it's foam, it's light, and pretty solid. So shut the turbine off. You know what? That'll work. Look at this place. Sausalito. So with the wind starting to climb and the storm bringing in the rain, I decided to get off the boat with a good friend of mine, Wolf from SV Del Sur, and get down to Bonita, check out a little surf village not far from San Francisco. And fresh off a sailing vessel of a completely different nature, the Draken Harald Orfagra is the world's largest Viking ship. I was happy to take in a private tour of the Matthew Turner, another tall ship in the making. Got invited on a wine tour in Napa and Sonoma Valley with my good friends Tom and Britta and Sylvia. Walked through the history of the Sonoma Valley and the taking of California. Still waiting for Duke to introduce me to his friend at the bar. I headed downtown to local watering hole where I was happy they took in the single guys as well. We had hit San Francisco right at the perfect time with the Marine Festival going on. Aboard SV Halcyon and good friends John and Becca and Wolf, we enjoyed the practice sessions of the Blue Angels. In there, you don't even have to go looking for sex anymore in jail. And just like that, my time in San Francisco was over. A quick 3-day turnaround turned into a couple of weeks, which I'm glad it did. San Francisco is a beautiful place. But it's time to push south to different adventures.